masters of the keys are we, and masters of all that can be. Oh, thin the veils of heaven's gates, call the angels and the saints, forgive the hearts that hurt.
It keeps growing, more love. And that has happened very fast for me with my music, and I know it's my purpose in life, and I kind of denied it for a long time, but I think I needed to be a bit older to really, I needed an artist without life experience. I don't know, you have to have the life to write about something that matters. So I've had a very interesting life in the sense that I've had every job you can think of. I've been a call center manager in English and in French. I have I've swept floors, I've mopped floors, I've worked in bars. I have, God, what else have I done? I've done so many jobs. I've sold bread. I've worked in bakeries. I've managed orchards. In many different countries. So I've done lots of traveling. I lived in Australia, worked in a sandwich shop. I used to make sandwiches by day and make pizzas by night. And
oh, that's good.
Yeah, I've done everything you can think of. Yeah, and then some. Yeah, I've even been a massage therapist. I went to school for that. So I worked in a clinic in a spinal injury center once upon a time. So I've kind of had a life of many experiences, which I think when you write music, you have to have lots of experience with people, and I love people. Well, this whole adversity, I've had, the thing that's interesting is what I realized when my dad died is that I think I faced my worst fear, and I don't really think I understood how strong we really are. And there was no way to get out of that place other than really to honor the strength that I had within me. And it's interesting when I will talk about the day that my dad died, because it's one of those things. I hadn't had a lot of people pass away before my dad in our family, and the thing that happens when someone passes away, there's an energy that I've never felt, I've never understood, and it's almost, I knew before he was dead, before he had died, that this energy was present, and it is an angelic energy that it's been with me ever since my dad passed. And I call it alchemical. The angels, or the loving liquid kind of energy that happened after he passed, is one of those things where I've never known anything like that before. But what it's done is it's allowed me to heal. And that alchemical part of life is one that we don't talk of very often. And it's where, I think it's when you meditate you have it. I think that when you pray you have it. And I think when you go through adversities where you need to really heal, it's present for you. And it's something that, I think it's interesting because we don't really talk about the fact that we're in infinite space, floating on this round ball that's really a spaceship going through space. And we're surrounded by infinity. And we always just look at things as so microscopic on Earth. And I think when you expand your mind, you also expand your soul. And that's kind of what I love about music and this whole essence of alchemical, because I really do believe that we're so much more powerful than we really understand we are. And that's kind of the magic of what happens through adversity when you start to honor your own worth. And self-worth is the most important thing that anyone will ever. I never knew how much worth mattered until my dad died. And it was ironically from his suicide that allowed me to really understand the sheer beauty of life. And life is so delicate and so beautiful. And my dad's still with me. I know my dad's still with me. And that's one of the reasons I promised him before he passed away, in many years leading up to this. He always loved my music. And I promised him that I would always, I promised him that I would write music. And it's one of the things that I knew that I needed to do after he passed. And that's why I do this actually as well. And I have, I didn't know if I told you this, but Glenn Close just recently in New York just posted my song.
Website.
So Glenn Close, I mean, the thing that's starting to happen is people are really uniting with my music. And so suicide awareness, the first song I wrote after my dad passed was actually a song called Beautiful World. And I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a 1 minute 50-second public service announcement, so a PSA. and it's used by so many not-for-profits and suicide awareness and suicide prevention campaigns really around the world. And that was the first thing that I released. And I remember when I released that song, I remember hitting send on the computer, and my mom stood behind me and she was like, "Are you sure we should do this?" And I was like, "You know what? We have to be honest about what happened." And I remember pressing send, and that song keeps growing. And people write me about that particular song all the time because it's really a snapshot of the story of my dad passing away by suicide. And those are the things that I just do now. And I think you have to be older to handle maybe conscious music. You have to have life experience. I don't know if I definitely could have written this when I was 20. There's no way. So I think that we are so quick to grow up in today's world. The world is so fast to tell kids what they need to be when they're young. And quite frankly, I don't know if that's so good, because I think it takes time to develop your whole being. And I know for me, I think I'm finally whole in the sense that I know who I am. I know that I'm a musician. I have had tons of life experience to become who I am. And that word or that phrase, I am, is the most powerful thing that you can ever say to yourself. I am, and what you say you are, you are. And you realize that you're a creator creating from the I am.
Masters of the keys are we, and masters of all that can be. Oh, thin the veils of heaven's gates, call the angels and the saints, forgive the hearts that hurt. And love the love, and peace will come, and peace will come when we love, be love, be love. And let the light of God shine in, hold the light of all that is be known.